Alright. Welcome to episode 1 of Open Mind. It's title meant to sound really serious about a bunch of stuff that's going to be a bunch of nonsense. Welcome to my first ever audio podcast. I've done video podcasts for going on about 5 years now. Multiple different things. I've been involved with the making of well over 100 different videos that are scattered through online. Let me give a little background about myself. My name is Eric. I have worked as an intern at a radio station for a few months. Had a little DJing experience. Did the overnights for a while last spring. So let me bust out my DJ voice for you. CD101, and that was some awesome music by the Beatles. And now we're moving on to some other music tonight. And it's gonna be awesome, and you'll all love it. So yeah, that's my radio voice. I'm a little rusty because I haven't done it in like a year. But still, those were fun times at the radio station, I'm not gonna lie. So this is all new to me. I guess this is kind of the meet and greet tonight of the podcast world, or whatever you want to call this. So, I don't know. Well, let's first start off with the big story in the news right now. Obviously, somebody got voted off Dancing with the Stars last week. That's the big story, right? No, I'm just kidding. We all know that Conan O'Brien shaved his beard. I watched it last night. Will Ferrell comes on. They were calling it the Beard Apocalypse. And Will Ferrell shaved Conan about halfway and quit and thought it was good. I thought it was funny. I thought he should have left it that way. That would have actually been quite entertaining. But unfortunately, Conan shaved the rest of it during the commercial break. So now I would like to talk about the real news story. 3 times is enough to mess with you. Osama bin Laden is dead. Now, unfortunately, being an audio podcast, you can't see me when I say this. The conspiracy theorists say he's dead. I'm doing the quotation fingers right now. So, I do believe he's dead. I'm not one of those who has to, try to, doubt everything that the government does. I'm like, you know what? They probably did get him. I don't think the president would, make some big announcement that bin Laden is dead if he's not dead. It doesn't make sense. It's like they said they had watched the video. There's a picture of him watching this video of, like, the whole thing going down with the Navy SEALs going into Osama's house and, like, blowing him up. Now, granted, I'm not trying to get all political here, but it's just like, why do we have to, challenge every single thing that the government does? Why can't we just sometimes take their word for it? Why not just accept that he's dead? Because obviously if they're telling us he's dead, then they're like, okay, well, we don't have to worry about Osama, starting any more terror attacks. Now, granted, there's Al-Qaeda and whatever that's doing, more things, and they're plotting revenge because Osama's dead, That's fine. Maybe something will happen. But it's like, you take out the leader, suddenly it all kind of goes downhill. It's like when John Lennon left the Beatles. He left the Beatles in like 1969. They lasted about 6 months after that because he was kind of the leader. Paul McCartney was too. He went off and did Wings and did a bunch of songs that have like 10 words in them and they repeat forever. The reason I know this is I've worked at a grocery store for 3 years, and all it is Phil Collins, Celine Dion, and Paul McCartney songs that they play. And it's like torture. I'm like, oh, these songs go on forever, and they're repetitive, and they're awful. Anyway, sorry, I got a little off track. So, a little about myself. I work at Giant Eagle. It's a grocery store chain in the wonderful state of Ohio, home of the Buckeyes, and home of the Honda factory. It's up in Marysville. I don't know a lot about this state. I really should. It's home of Kings Island and Cedar Point, the best amusement parks in the whole country. Go ride some roller coasters. Woohoo! Yay! I rode Diamondback last summer. I'm planning at Kings Island. And the summer before that. I'm planning to go back this summer again to do that because that is an incredible ride, and I recommend that anybody who likes roller coasters should check it out. Now, again, if this is our first episode, so you're like, this guy talks fast and his thoughts are kind of scrambled. Well, it's because I'm freeballing it tonight. I don't have anything written down. I have a general idea of what I want to talk about, but I don't want to have a list in front of me. I have a nice new laptop that I'm recording all this on, and I'm playing around with it. I was talking to somebody on Twitter just last week about audio podcasts, and it inspired me to try this out. So I'm going to attempt to see if this takes off. So I'm going to try to have somewhat interesting points to say and be funny sort of at the same time. So I think I've already done the interesting part tonight. So why don't I go ahead and move on to the funny part, or what I consider to be funny, even though you will probably consider to be stupid. That's okay. It's all a perspective thing, I guess you could say. So, working in the grocery store, I talk to people all the time, and oftentimes when it gets slow, I get bored. That's when I start working on my impressions of people. Now, granted, none of the impressions that I do are very good, but here's a sampling of some of the best ones I do. I can do William Shatner very well. No, I can't at all. I only have the mannerisms down. I do not have the voice anywhere close. I learned this next impression from a guy I used to work with named JD. This is the entire cast of The Sopranos doing an impression of Keanu Reeves. Bro! Yeah. First time I heard that cracked me up pretty much. So, that's the bad thing about, doing a podcast is you can't hear there's no immediate response. I can't hear the audience, and I can't hear what you people think of that. But, if I'd love it if you'd leave comments. I'm looking forward to trying to make this the best thing ever. The best podcast ever. I'm going to take down all the big ones out there. I don't even know what they are because I don't really listen to podcasts. I'm going into this blind and not knowing anything. So I figure that's the best way to do it, having no knowledge of what I'm doing whatsoever. Are you with me? So anyway, lost my train of thought there. Impressions, that's right. Sorry. Then I can do a sort of halfway, not even close Sean Connery. Yes. Hello. I'm glad to be on this podcast tonight. This is spectacular, as I would say. So that one's better than the other ones. But the one that I'm working on the most, that I have a little bit better, is the Old Spice guy. Let's see if just everybody close your eyes. So I guess though you can't see me, it doesn't matter. Just imagine that I'm the Old Spice guy. Hello, ladies. Does your man use lady-scented body wash? If so, give him Old Spice so he smells like a sexy man-beast like I am. I'm on a horse. I more have the hello, ladies thing down. I have that down really well. But I gotta get the rest of the sentence down and perfect, right? So, I don't even know what the appropriate length for a podcast is, like an audio podcast. Video-wise, I am way up there. I'm way over the range. But I don't know if audio podcast goes for a little longer. I would assume not. Again, these are things that any audio podcast people out there, if you want to give me feedback, please. You can be harsh. Please, I take harsh criticism. I think it's funny sometimes. But, helpful criticism would be nice, of course. Anybody who has advice or anything. What should I do? Anything you'd like to have me do? Or whatever. I have video capability, so if you want me to do a video and just make it even better, I can do that. I just thought I'd try the audio half right now. So I don't have to look nice, even though I wouldn't, even if I was doing a video. So I am going to wrap this little show up. Hopefully it's going to take off. This is the beginning of something huge. Till next time, stay out of trouble. And God bless America. Yay. That was a really horrible ending, so okay. See you next time.